Hello, I'm Doug Drinkwater, the editor of Internet of Business. We're at the Internet of Retail for these next 2 days, really looking at how the Internet of Things is changing in the retail environment, from bricks and mortar stores to online e-commerce. I'm delighted to be joined by Julija from the Dandy Lab, who've been doing some really interesting things with IoT. They're a startup, only been around for a year, so it's early days. Julija, delighted you could be with me here today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah. So talk us through, first of all, what you guys have been doing at the Dandy Lab. I know it's early days and you've been partnering with Cisco.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of what you've been doing.
So essentially what the Dandy Lab is a menswear lifestyle shop enhanced by technology. So we work not as a retailer only, but we act as a retail technology laboratory. So our kind of like two sides of the business, mainly to focus on obviously product sales, but the other side is actually focusing on exploring different technologies, IoT technologies, for example, what's coming on to the market. So testing like app technologies, like different sensors, looking how customers are behaving in store and actually trying to draw insights from this data gathered in store.
And how important is IoT in all of that? Because obviously retail in particular is trialling a number of new technologies, and we're seeing here kind of these next 2 days, IoT is a big topic of conversation. What do you think it means in the retail space right now? How big is this potential of this technology?
Yeah, I think the potential of IoT technologies in retail is massive. You know, when you think about like all type of business models, like they base on very old systems, and what happens at the moment is there are so many different sensors what you could use in the in-store environment. So for example, to measure footfall, to measure engagement with your shelves, like product engagement level, to understanding like how customers are reacting to your new products, whether they are interested, like what they don't like. And I think gathering on all this information using IoT sensors in store, you can draw so many insights, and then based on that, if you have like a good data scientist on your team, you can actually try to see how you can change your business model and like increase sales depending on the insights what you're gathering, using these all IoT technologies.
And where do you think most retailers are with their IoT strategy at the moment? It's obviously a very early concept, and you guys are kind of leading that, you could say. But as we've already seen in the room, the maturity level differs from some retailers that are just starting out with pilots to others that are much more mature. Where do you see retailers with their IoT at the moment? Are they're just dipping their toe in the water, or are they more advanced?
Yeah, I think it's very early stage, as you mentioned. So I completely agree. It's very early stage because you don't really know how to use it effectively. And plus, what happens now is actually there is a big lack of data science skills. And I think this is why the IoT technology is not that used. It's not very popular at the moment, because what you need is not just like have a sensor, because it doesn't really make sense to gather all this data but don't do anything with that. So what you really need is actually have proper data scientists on team who understands not just how to analyze the data, but also how to analyze it, but at the same time come up with some sort of business decision. So they need to understand business and plus data analytics side. So I think that's why the IoT technologies is not that popular at the moment, because of the lack of the skills.
Yeah. And what do you see as the biggest challenge ahead for retailers? Is it that skills issue? I know some people mention security as another kind of issue ahead. What do you see as the kind of biggest challenges to adoption in retail going forward?
I would say yes, skills is number one. Obviously security issue, because some of the customers, they might be, obviously they're aware that you are tracking, and then obviously most of them, they don't like the idea of being tracked in the store. So I think this is where security and privacy issue definitely exists. Definitely skill set, I would say, and also like kind of knowledge and experience, how do you need to employ these different sensors in store, and like how do you implement them so you can actually draw good insights.
Yeah, fantastic. Julija, really appreciate your time today. I know you're speaking later, so good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure we'll see you around for the next 2 days.
Okay, thank you very much.